Rick, I guess, pretty worried about the defense. Says he doesn't know if you guys are quite ready yet for Monday. What do you think of where you are?
Um, I think it's getting better. I think it's all the some of the smaller things, communicating, attention to detail, understanding the principles of what our defense is, the foundation of it, helping each other, having each other's backs. But I think the main thing is communication. I think we all kind of understand what it is, and I think we've definitely been paying attention to the smaller details in practice and trying to be better at it. So I think it's definitely getting better and something that we're going to continue to work on every day.
Bryce, compared with other basketball seasons, how excited are you about this one beginning?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Like you said, it's been a pretty long time since I've actually got to, be healthy at the beginning of the season. And, me and the guys have been putting in a ton of work this off season, and we just can't wait till the ball tips up and it's official. And we're all just looking forward to it.
Bryce, as someone who has been in the Big East, how would you say your view of St. John's changed from maybe when you were your first year at Providence before Rick Pitino to this offseason when they brought you in? Like, how different?
For sure. Well, when I was at Providence, we always scouted at St. John's. They were always a very hard playing team. They crashed the glass, even when Coach P wasn't here. So we were always kind of prepared for that. Last year, Zuby was at the top of our scouting report, just how physical he is and how hard he crashes the glass and stuff like that. But, it's pretty much the same. I pretty much got to watch them a lot when I was at Providence, and coming in, I feel like saw some of those things when I was watching them, and it's translating to now me playing for them.
What made you want to come here? And obviously your old coach was trying to bring you to Georgetown. Like, what do you remember? What was there one thing that tipped it in favor of this school?
I think it was the player development piece. The workouts that we put in, before practice. We wake up in the morning, we have lift. And then we go on to the court for an on-court workout, and then we have a little bit of time off before practice. I feel like just the work that we put in before practice, that was a big piece in me coming here. Obviously, playing for Coach P is one thing, and he's a proven winner and stuff like that. But I would say the player development piece was the biggest. Yes, it was pretty much the same workouts that we do now is what I did on my visit. So yeah.
Some guys say that workout is pretty difficult.
It is. If you don't work out, at that game speed and stuff like that, he does do some conditioning into his drills. So that could be, the harder part of the workout. But I feel like I was pretty much used to it, and I did some of the similar drills in my workouts.
Obviously, the Michigan game doesn't count to any record or anything, but getting that game on film and the fact that it was a loss, does that make it like easier or harder, like in film sessions when coach is going through what you guys need to clean up?
No, I mean I think it was just obviously we wanted to win that game and we came out there with every intention to try to win that game. But I mean we took a lot of learning lessons from it. I think that was the biggest thing that we were able to come away from was finding out our mistakes, and that's why we had a challenge like that this early on, not even into the season, just into exhibition games, just to find out about our team. And I think we did. And there was a lot of things that we noticed that we need to clean up, we need to work on, and a lot of it is small things. Now, I mean, we know what to work on when we get into practice, and they've been definitely paying attention to all those little details, and we have been just trying to listen to the coaches and understand what we're trying to do here and trying to accomplish.
A positive from that game, obviously, is the way you guys played with Zuby. And I mean, Michigan's front court is expected to be really good. They're big. I mean, do you guys kind of playing against a team like that in a front court like that feel really good about the way you guys played and what you could possibly do to teams on your schedule the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it just because the way we came out and competed, Michigan was a big team. They were, I mean, on paper they're big. On the court, they was a big team. So, but no, we came out there, we competed, and I think what specifically like me, Bryce, Zuby, even Ruben, our size and athleticism and versatility, being able to switch and guard multiple defenders, being leaders. I mean, like vets, older guys, more experienced guys to understand the game a little bit more. So I think it was definitely something that we seen in practices at times with, sometimes when we go a bigger lineup, but being able to go up against Michigan, who's one of the top teams, especially with their size and stuff like that. It was definitely a positive to look at.
Bryce, you guys hear the talk of such high expectations. St. John's probably hasn't entered the season like with this high hopes this century, probably. I mean, do you guys like that? Do you try to tune it out? Like, how do you feel about just all the hype and excitement?
I mean, we definitely see it, but we try to, and coach, tells us in film every day just to take it a day at a time. And that's pretty much our main goal is just to get better in practice every day. And don't look past any opponents, look at Quinnipiac for Quinnipiac, look at Alabama for Alabama, and just take it a day at a time and a game at a time.
So what do you think? I mean, do you like all the excitement? Is it pressure? Is it?
No, I mean, honestly, at least as players, and even Coach Pitino he'll talk about it a little bit, just like don't listen to the noise. I mean, the season hasn't even started, so these rankings don't even matter, to be honest. But as players, we don't even talk about it at all. Like, oh, we're a top 5 team in the country or anything like that. We don't even pay attention to that stuff. So like he said, it's just taking it a day at a time, and then really just taking it to practice at a time. Like, we understand the goals we have as a team and as a team, like I said. But I mean, like I've said before, none of those are going to get accomplished if we don't take it a day at a time in practice, trying to get each other better in practice and going hard with each other in practice. I mean, all those goals and accomplishments we want to have, not only for a team but individually, it won't happen if we don't, stick together in practice every day and go hard.
For either guy, you have this big time transfer class, and a lot of the guys are known for offense. Ian, Josan, Oziah, Bryce, you two. I mean, is that why coach, you think, is focusing so much on defense?
I mean, I feel like he mentioned to us that he thinks that last year's team was better on defense than this year's team, but I feel like it's just us coming together and buying into the film sessions and what the principles that the coaches want us to get, and us actually like not taking a play off and actually like locking into what they want from us. And I feel like as we get to playing with each other more, and as the games go on and the season goes on, I think you're going to see a big jump in our defense for sure.
How much better can you guys get in 8 days? Like, how different are you guys today than the day that you played Michigan?
I think, a lot better, only just because we understand the weaknesses, especially coming from that Michigan game. A lot of it was on the defensive end, and just being able to lock in on those small details that we need to lock in on. And no matter what, even if we make mistakes in practice or anything like that, the one thing we all could say is we go hard. Every guy on that court, goes hard every day in practice, try to make each other better, to try to learn. Everybody on the team is very coachable. And, we're all confident in what we can accomplish and what we're working to get to, just because of the effort and how hard we work. And then, being coachable, learning from Coach P, and we're confident, especially with Coach P leading this team.
Dylan, do you think Coach uses the last year's team was better defensively to motivate you guys?
I'm sure, but at the same time, he's probably speaking facts. Right now, we were at a tough spot just defensively, trying to understand, especially it's a whole new group of guys that, has to gel. And Coach said some guys he felt like have struggled guarding and stuff like that. But the one thing is I have full confidence in it because how hard we go every day in practice and how coachable the guys are. So,
Dylan, Rick talked about how defensive communication needs to be better out of the team. Of course, you mentioned the 6 new players coming in, all the newcomers. How difficult is it to try to get everyone on the same page defensively? And do you think that as St. John's moves into this non-conference schedule that they're going to be able to pick up on that defensive communication? Yeah,
I think we will. And it's something that you can see every day in practice moving forward. Some of the guys starting to pick up on, some of the things that we want to do defensively, especially with the communication. Even rebounding, some of the guards rebound. I know Coach has talked about our guards rebounding, and we joke about it. Now Josan's in practice trying to grab every rebound. So, so that's just another part of the guys being coachable, learning, trying to understand what's going on. And then I just think defensively, we're going to get better every day in practice. And I could see the steps that we've been taking even since that Michigan game. I could see the effort. I could see the attention to details on the defensive end. I could see all those things.
His head's funny to fuck with that.
You should have used the picture of the affiliate as the photo.
Hello, guys. Well, the season's finally here, and we had 2 really good exhibition games to get us ready. Unfortunately, we're about a 2-week span away from really being fundamentally set to open. I was joking with Mink that we asked Quinnipiac to move it back a week, but they wouldn't do it. So we're going to open. We're not quite ready to open, but we just need a little bit more time because we have 8 new players that aren't getting it defensively right now. We're not connected, but I think in a week or 2, I think we'll have all the kinks out.
Rick, when you say players aren't connected defensively, what are you seeing out there that might cause that disconnect?
It's not. It's just 8 guys coming together with the 3 or 4 returnees. It's just a matter of verbal communicating, just getting used to each other, learning the system. It's just 8 new people that never played like this before and just trying to gel. And it's more verbal communication than anything. And that leads to mistakes.
Rick, defensively, what are you seeing from Oziah after the Michigan game? You said that he's had the propensity to foul in practice, and you guys necessarily haven't called it, and then obviously he fouls out in 8 minutes against Michigan.
I think he's corrected it somewhat, not altogether, but I think he's corrected it. Nobody wants to play 8 minutes.
Are you planning to stick with the 5 you started with?
I don't know who we're going to start in this game. It changes almost every day. That's been the most difficult thing, is coming up with a unit that really works together well defensively.
Rick, in the course of a week, or I guess 8 days between games, how much can you clean up of the things that you wanted to clean?
Well, we've got to clean up, and we've put in a lot of plus-minus system to clean up the guards not rebounding. I've never had people this size not rebound the ball like this in 2 games, and even in practices. So we've come a long way with that. We put in a plus-minus system to correct the rebounding woes as well as some of the other things, and we're starting to rebound the ball better. We chart. We've always had a plus-minus system, but it charts. You get pluses for offensive rebounds. You get pluses for defensive rebounds. Pluses for assists, back tips, deflections, block shots, drawing charges, and you get minuses for things that are hurting us defensively.
Who's been, of the guards, who's been good in that area?
Joson's improved. He was probably of everybody. He was the weakest component to that, and he's improved immensely.
Is that just because they haven't been asked to rebound in their?
I don't know that. I didn't check with the prior coaches.
Rick, I know that because of the foul trouble in the Michigan game, maybe you didn't have the lineup that you would have wanted on the floor in the last 4 or 5 minutes of regulation. But
That's not true.
you had
I mean, Lefty got us back in the game,
right.
so I'm not sure anybody else would have gotten us back in the game.
But where I was going with was that at the end of regulation, it seemed like the guys were sort of deferring to Zuby or Bryce, and maybe not putting them up. Do you sense that there's some hesitation about taking the shots?
I didn't see that, to be honest with you, Roger. Who passed it up?
I sort of feel like everybody was waiting for Zuby or Bryce to do something. I mean, Bryce actually did try to make a play, but
Yeah, the play in question, he tried to make, that was Ian's fault. Ian should have gone away, brought his man away, so Bryce could maneuver one-on-one. Instead, Ian brought his man into Bryce and forced Bryce to pass the ball and throw it away. So that's, again, being connected, just getting to know each other, not doing that. They're a great group of guys, and I know they're going to get it. It's just they haven't gotten it yet. But they are making great strides to getting it.
Rick, you guys hit on a bunch of benchmarks last year for St. John's, first outright regular season title, postseason tournament, NCAA tournament win, player of the year. Is the next step like having a big March, like in your eyes?
Again, I'm not focused on the future. I think I can tell you right now, we're not going to have the record of last year, just because of our schedule, and just because the Big East is so much stronger this year than last year. But I think we can be a very good team. We were a very good team at the end of last year. We just ran into the wrong opponent, and that happens. I told you before, March Madness, it's a matter of getting the right matchups, and Arkansas is not a good matchup for us. But we are not the team of last year. This team is nowhere near last year's team, but by the end of the year, they will be.
Rick, we had a chance to chat a little bit with Jackson at their thing on Monday, and he sort of felt like he said he felt like he'd gotten away from doing the things that make him Ian Jackson. Do you think that he's been hesitant at all?
I pay no attention to comments like that. Those are excuses, and excuses are signs of weakness. People make excuses all the time. We have it in practice all the time when we immediately will say to Zuby, I'll use Zuby because he's my favorite as far as work ethic is concerned. Zuby, you got 10 minuses, man. You didn't block out. You didn't talk. Nah, coach, it was this, it was that. And then we show him the clips, and he says, I got you, once we show it to him. So, I would say every single player in the team has an excuse for why they don't get the job done. And then we show them the clips, and they say, my bad, 98% of the time. So I don't pay attention to comments like that.
Well, why do you think, with Ian, though, like, what have you seen in those 2 exhibition games?
Ian's fine with me. He's playing hard. He's trying to learn, trying to get better. So he's fine with me. I don't know what he's talking about, to tell you the truth.
I mean, the other on Saturday, he had 2 points on 1 of 8.
Oh, he had a bad shooting night.
Right, but he kind of looked hesitant. So you didn't think he played poorly, but besides the shooting?
I just think he took a few bad shots. We got to get it out of Ian's mindset that scoring is what makes a person play well. It has to be passing, defense, rebounding, understanding the system. And generally, if you do those things, you're going to score 16, 18 points. It's like the guy that steps up to the plate looking to hit a home run. He invariably strikes out. If he's looking to just make contact, he invariably hits a home run or gets a double. So we got to get the mindset of just winning and playing well at all phases of the game. And generally, when guys do that, they have great nights.
With Ian, I mean, he was such a big name here as a high school player. And do you think there is, I know you said pressure is a bad thing, but for a kid who, comes home and there are these expectations of him outwardly, whether I'm sure inwardly as well, like, do you see that he maybe wants to do well so bad?
I don't know. You'd have to. All I'm interested in is Ian is learning how to play the right way, which he's doing, making great strides. I think he'll have a terrific season. I'm not concerned about 2 exhibition games.
Rick, do you remember after Arkansas, how long was it that you guys really started to hone in on this is what we need for next year? I mean, there really isn't a lot of time to waste. When we talk about the portal, how long did you take? How quickly did it shift to being from upset the season's over to, all right, we need to do this, this, and this?
Way I look at it, sometimes we lose in the NCAA tournament because we don't do something well. We just had a bad shooting night. I felt Arkansas was the better team that night. And that's what it is with college basketball. It's that night. It's not that series where you make the adjustment for the next game. It's that night. I've won some that we weren't supposed to win, lost some that we should have won. And we are a good basketball team this year in a league that's much improved. As you all watched Georgetown last night, Georgetown looks like they're in January form. They look terrific. Took Kentucky out of everything they run, even though I understand Kentucky had 3 starters out, but Georgetown looked great defensively last night. I know Villanova's better. I know Providence is much better. And obviously the Connecticut, Creighton, Marquette, we know very good. I haven't seen some of the other teams yet.
Do you, kind of back what I said, the portal stuff, how unique is that, and were you happy with how you guys did?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. We're ranked top 10 in the nation, so how could you not be happy?
Rick, when you look at the portal, and I guess you had to deal with it a little bit at Iona, that Dana stayed for a couple of years, Walter stayed for a couple of years. The kid on Quinnipiac, Monroe, I mean, he easily could have gone into the portal and gotten a major payday. Is it good for the sport that stars like that are staying at smaller schools and maybe give it shining a light on some of those programs?
Well, who besides Murray did that?
Not many, but like Walter and Dana stayed.
Well, no, they didn't stay. The thing didn't happen yet. I offered Walt and Danis $1,500 a month, and they decided to go elsewhere.
Rick, do you see from your vantage, because you were at Iona, in this day and age, like, do you think, is there last March there was no real Cinderella. The only double-digit seed was Arkansas, and that was obviously no Cinderella. Do you think the gap is widening between the big schools and the smaller schools as the payrolls go up? And
So what happens? The mid majors are really struggling to keep their players. So now they got to get creative and innovative to get players in on a 1-year basis to make their program strong. So they have to work even twice as hard as the rest of the people to get creative and bring talent in there. Iona's done it this year. People tell me Iona's really, really has a great team. Quinnipiac has a terrific team. But it's going to last 1 year. So they're pretty much in the same ballpark we're in, but they can't build it like a Holy Cross has the freshman of the year and he's gone. So it's a 1-year program for them. It's very difficult for them to do that. So they have to get really creative with it, with foreign players. They have to get creative with other players, junior college players. It's not easy for them. And that's why you didn't see a lot of upsets last year.
is the sport going in danger? Everyone loves the upset and the Cinderella. Because of the money, is the sport in danger of losing what a lot of people love? Or at least minimizing what a lot of people love? Because of, like you mentioned.
Well, you may have less upsets. At least last year, that was the case. But March Madness was great last year. It was filled with a lot of great games. That's not going to change. I think you'll see some upsets along the way by mid-majors. It just didn't happen last year. They've got to get adjusted to the NIL period like we had to get adjusted to it and move on. It's a different world. But I think college basketball in the long run is probably better because you're holding on to these college kids longer. I mean, you're seeing players stay longer because they make more money than the G League.
But the fact that you don't have, we look at a few of these Final Four teams for the last 5 years, like a Loyola Chicago.
Well, that's just last year. But that's just last year.
Right, but you're not going to see the mid-major with the guy who's there for 4 or 5 years.
I don't think you'll see it getting to a Final Four, but I think they'll get to a Sweet 16, even maybe an Elite 8. It didn't happen last year, but I don't know if it'll ever happen again to a Final Four because those teams are so strong. Yes.
Rick, how would you describe your excitement for the upcoming season as compared with any of the other seasons that you've been the head coach?
I'm probably more excited than I've ever been, but I have some trepidation because of our schedule. Playing Alabama's second game of the season with their style of play, having the number one tempo, we're trying to duplicate, but Roger, they shoot the ball 7-8 seconds every time. That's so unusual. We're not ready for that right now because we have to focus on Quinnipiac because Quinnipiac could beat us if we're not ready. So I have some trepidation, I'm not going to lie, but I am more excited than I've ever been about a season because of that competition. You don't see it this early in the year for St. John's, and we've got to be ready. The good thing is we have got a great attitude, and as you guys have experienced, a wonderful group of guys, just a tremendous group of guys. They're struggling at the defensive end, talking.
Rick, St. John's really hasn't entered a season like this. Last time it was picked to win the Big East was 91. Highest preseason ranking ever. Coming off, obviously, a great season. What is that like, do you think, for people, for the team, for you, that you go into a season with people having such high hopes and expectations?
Well, for me personally, I feel like I'm back at Louisville, Kentucky. That's the same feeling I had at Louisville, same feeling I had at Kentucky. That was the norm. So this is the norm now for St. John's.